Assalamualaikum and morning. First of all, I want to thank you, IPI, Madina, directors, and invite to invite me to talk something about publication, especially review publication. How can publish review manuscript into a good journal? And in first session, Professor Dr. Aslan has given a very nice talk. I was a bit late because I had a class this morning. And thank you, Professor Datu, for your nice presentation. I'll present today the comprehensive review paper writing for high impact journals. So my presentation will segregate it into, first of all, I'll say something about the publication motivation. Most of us will know what is the impact of publication. So few slides I'll go through how we can publish or what is the important of publications. Then think about high impact review publication, the structure of review publication. I'll give some emphasize or where to write what from first page to last page. For example, title to conclusion and the references. Then I'll talk about a little bit about the ethics and publication impact analysis. This is very important. It's also very important. Ethics we must have to obtain, maintain, or follow. And publication impact analysis will let us know or motivate or influence the publication, influence on writing publication. And lastly, I'll present some of the review writing strategies from my paper. How I have written a few high quality research review paper in a good journals. Yeah. So let's go from the first. Okay. This is one of the data, the big T, everybody will know, right? The big T, Elsevier publishing papers under the big T. So we can see the data I am showing here. It's a bit old data, but still it will show how huge publication are published every year. So the data is 10 years old, I think, but still we can perceive that how important it is. Elsevier only there is a 500,000 paper submission per year. This paper need to deal with 200,000 reviewer, 1 million on review reports, and out of this 40 and 50 paper, 40 to 90% of the paper is rejected. And then dealing with this paper, 7,000 editors, 70,000 editorial board members, 6.5 million authors involved in this submission, and finally, if it is 50%, 250,000 paper published every year. Yeah. Yeah. Then 250,000 paper is related to 10 million researchers and 4,500 institute, university, and 180 countries, and so many data. So I just want to let you know this one publisher, Elsevier only. We have numbers of publishers, right? You know already. One publisher published so many publications, so many journals, yeah, journals, books, and other form of publication. Why? Why? This is big why is the importance of publication. We'll see why. So this is the question: why we need to publish? Why they are publishing? This is the question: why we publish? What is a good manuscript? Which manuscript is hard? In what form we can communicate for findings? Where to publish and how to submit? This is all these things we have to maintain. We suddenly cannot submit here and there. We really have to understand whether the manuscript is good. This is both in review and academic manuscript. Then you have to think whether you have to publish or not publish. And you have to write in a good quality of manuscript. All these have to go preparation, article construction, language, technical details, and then review, ethical issue and conclusions, and getting accepted. So after a long process, it may accept and may reject. This is one of the motivation, Einstein's formula E equal to mc square. Everybody will know, right? But this is the manipulated formula E equal to mc square. Similar thing. What is E? Excellence. Motivation. C is the commitment. So from this formula or from this formula, we know if you want to get excellency or excellence is any in the academic career or research career, what you have to do? We have to be strong motivation. We have to have strong motivation and commitment. So, and the motivation and commitment, if you are motivated even, if you don't have enough commitment, what will happen? You can see here. If C is 0.5, that is you are not committed enough, half-hearted man, half-hearted researcher. Then if it is 0.5, excellence will be 1/4. If it is a 1, it will be 1. 1 and 1/4 is 4 times. Then if you are double commitment, you are very committed on your motivation, on your jobs, then look at the output. It's 16 times. Equal to 4 means it is 16 times, then equal to 1/4. So around us, you can see, faculty, some of the researchers are very good researchers. Their citation is very high. Everybody knows, okay, he is that or she is that. Because why? Because of their performance and the excellence of performance. So this is one of the things. If we want to, get the excellency in your field, especially on research, you must have to commit on writing paper. Today, researcher and the academics are identified how? On the research and publication. Today, just now I was spoken to our Dr. Professor Ruslan that Malaysia today 21 highly cited researcher. Out of 21, 11 is from UN. That's why UN is a great university in Malaysia. So, due to their commitments, they are known to. They have a huge citation. Today, academics are identified based on their research and publication. Teaching is okay, very good. Teaching also good. It's a basic thing. We must have to have this thing. Quality teaching is standard teaching. But if you are a good researcher, everybody knows it. That is, I get so many benefits here. From UCAM, I was in UCAM from my early career to professor. So I'm very much thankful to UCAM. UCAM have given me professor in 5 years' time, from senior lecturer to professor, only due to my research and publication. I don't have any community works. I don't have other things work. So this is in my cases. Around the world, as I say, that today academics are identified based on their research and publication. So that's why we have to have a commitment for publishing paper. And why? Why we want to publish? In different level of publication for getting different recognition. For PhD scholar, we must have to get our PhD, so we have to publish. Publishing will validate your work. Of course, your supervisory committee will judge what you have done. But if you have published something, that is validate your work is okay, because it is separate identity. They review your paper and finally they accept it. Means they recognize your work is okay. Then get funding. Today, last year, last year. 2019, I have received LRGS. Not the program leader, but it's my concept. So one of the program leader, LRGS, they were looking in Malaysia also. They are looking, if you are a good researcher, means you have to have some chronological papers on the field. Then only they are giving the good project. LRGS is a flagship project in Malaysia, the biggest project. So they have given. So getting fund, you have to have research publication. get promotion, you have to have. Then so many things, so many recognition you can get from the publication. That's why publication today is very important. But getting publication or good publication is very difficult. See, you have a manuscript. Just now say, Professor, that you have a draft manuscript. Draft manuscript will not be published anywhere. You have to have refined your draft and develop a final manuscript. Then only you can go through all this barrier. Everybody is standing there chopping you. Everybody is standing there to chop you. All the reviewers, as editorial assistant, editor, they'll chop you definitely if your paper is not good. So if you want to pass this thing, you must have to have good manuscript. So today we will explain, or did we just share? Everybody will know, but we'll share some of our experience how to write a good manuscript. So in case today I'll explain about the review manuscript. Okay. So this is how to write literature review papers. This is some content of the presentation today. What is literature review? We know. And difference between academic and literature review paper. Why do we need to publish? What should we do before publish? Strategy of writing literature review papers. The structure of the review articles of the paper. The scoring keys. I'll not highlight the scoring keys, but many people have highlight how to score your own work. An example. In example, I'll show you some of my paper. The hurdle I have gone through to publish the paper. I'll explain it. Okay, this is some more on the text, but still I can explain. Literature review paper discuss published information in a particular subject area within a certain period of time, and also provide a summary or a synthesis of the findings of selected research being published. That is not your work. The work has been published. You have to synthesize or develop some argument. So if you can, then it is good and will be published. And in literature review or review paper, recap of the important information like reorganization, reshuffling of the information. They have the information. That information you have to become current in your own way and have give some input. So new interpretation of old materials or combine new with old interpretation. These are the definition of the mostly review paper. Okay. So what is the difference between review and academic paper? Mostly the applied science or applied education like engineering, the science, the physics, and all the chemistry, our academic paper is result dependent, data dependent. But some other faculties like social science, history, economics, they have their research is more on the argument base. They develop page and pages on the literature part, not just one graph or some data. So they're a little bit different. So these are the academic paper. The main focus of an academic paper is to support own argument, because what you have developed, you are supporting this. You got some new results, you get some new efficiency of your methods that supersede or that overcome the main problem, so you can rank it up. However, the focus of a review paper is to summarize and synthesize the argument and the idea that has been published. That is the difference of the review and the academic paper. Academic paper is your own argument, what you have developed by your own methods and all the steps, whatever it is. But the review paper, you just summarize people's idea with developing or synthesizing, analyzing their idea. In fact, many academic research paper will contain literature review, right? Almost all of our research paper we have introduction. The first section is the introduction, right? Every research paper. So what we had writing on this. In the research or academic paper, research academic paper, in the introduction, we just write what is necessary to defend our methods. our arguments. We are not writing other people's things. We are writing, but related to only our fields. Very small scale of review. But it is aspect of the study, the argument of the source, that is emphasize and determine what type of the document it is. So we can see here the impact of review and academic paper. So from the graph we can see the citation, one of the impact of research. Citation is today one of the impact of research, how people accept or recognize your work. They are citing your work. So we can see the graph, the review paper or review manuscript, how it is cited. Citation is too high compared to academic paper or conference paper. That's why writing review paper is very, very important. Very, very important. If you want to flourish yourself, if you want to be identified as a good researcher, senior researcher, you must have to have just review paper. So why do we need to write this review paper? Because it is a handy guide to a particular topic. In the limited time, this is given an overview and stepping stone. So, for example, if you read the one review paper, you can, one review paper, in the review paper is 100 citation, plus minus 100 citation. Yeah, 100 reference there. So in the review paper, you can get the information of 100 papers or the future information, what's supposed to be. All the information you get in the review paper. Rather, to get this information, if you don't go to review paper, you have to collect individual paper to get that information. So you have to go maybe 50 papers. You have to read 50 papers. So if you are good in, if you read one review paper in lump, you can get so many information. That's why review paper is very important. It's a guideline. For the professional, they keep up to the update information. The professional, those are the professionals working in the industry. They want to develop some new inventor. So what is going on at the moment in the world? So they must have to know the reviews of the corresponding research. Then they will develop new things. For the professional, they must have to have the current scenario of the research. So review paper will give you this idea. For the scholar, the depth and the breadth of the literature emphasize the credibility of the writer in our country. And review, the solid research paper, investigation and comprehensive knowledge of the field, which is essential for the research, because not any research can be conducted without review. You have to have review first, then you have to write proposal. After being received the fund, you have to go details on review, then you can only solve some problem. That's why every research has a review before starting the research. Then besides enlarging your knowledge about the topic, writing a review paper let you gain the demonstrated skill of the two areas. One is information seeking. Review paper will give you a lot of information in the bundle. Another one is a critical appraisal. So critical appraisal is very much needed to judge something. Now you are the professor, you are the associate professor, you are supervising students. You have to judge that whether the student work is okay or not, the research is okay or not. So if you have enough knowledge, only then you can lead or guide the student properly or guide the things. That's why all the senior professors are in the seat of evaluating these examiners, proposal evaluation, all these things, because they have the knowledge. So this review paper will give you some appraisal to get that knowledge, to receive that knowledge. Okay, some of the slides is just a literature, but don't get it bored. We have some other slides at the end, so we'll explain something. So this is the form of review article. Just now, Professor Madina said the survey, there are some surveys. So this is basically the form, different type of review article can be written. But mostly we are writing the review article, the first one. Basically the review article lists not the summarization or listing the people's previous work. You have to synthesize and develop argument in the summarized form because 100 citation or 100 paper, 60 paper, if you write so many things, it will be so many pages. The publisher, they don't have much space to give you. You have to write 10 pages, 50 pages, 8 pages, 5 pages in summarized form, but of course you have to synthesize. That's why they say it's classified into non-systemic and systemic type, limited to analytical environment parts, and not just summarize, but rather transform the presented information in inspiration or material for future studies. So we have to give some idea for the future studies from their perspective, what they have written. And then there is a critical review on another form, similar with the review paper, but it's critically analyzed on the scientific problem and the scientific facts. Okay. Then the article review paper. Article review paper is very short, half page or 1 page, is for a specific article, like book review. Book review, you just have to review the chapters on. And there is a one paper survey paper. Survey paper. We have few journals. Like I can see one of the great journal, IEEE Survey and Communication Tutorials, one of the journal in paper around 8 to 10, very good journal. They are publishing survey and review papers. So survey is similar with the review paper, but still it needs to some trend, chronological, or you have to follow some trend, your basis, publication basis, or like chronologically. Chronologically, you have to keep the information on the technology, for example, on the technology or on some specific issues. This is the survey paper. The historical paper is Professor explained already. Historical paper of one event, you want to explain some history of inverter, for example, history of some devices. So from very first thing for last thing, what is the gap and what future research can be conducted on the inverter? All the things you have to hide. This is the historical paper. Book review is a one book, whether the every chapter is sequenced there, every chapter is good enough, or technically, graphically, language, grammatically, all this is okay. That is the book review. And there is another strategic technical review paper, also one of the form of the review paper, that as technology management science become increasingly interrelated, the strategic review are having their specific niche among the scholarly articles. So this is one of the form. These are the form of review papers. So when you go to submission in the journal, most of the journals, they have a few categories. One is the normal article submission, one is the review article submission, one is the communication or letter submission, one is the short description or short form of some submission. This is the general form for any journal submission. So review is one of the submission. So in our case, for applied science and engineering, mostly we go for this thing, review articles. Review, critical review article, rather a little bit 10-20% difficult than review article. If it is 10 pages, it's supposed to be 5 pages. More critically, we explain. More critically, we explain based on the information that is published. Okay. This is the form of review papers. And what should we do before writing the review paper? So at the moment, I'm thinking I'll write the review paper. What should I do? So there are some of the information roughly. You have just now Professor said that he takes 3 months to think about to write the review paper. Really, it's needed. For me, I have spent so many time just for reviewing. I always on the scope as Google Scholar to find what to write, because these days I'm writing at least every year. I am writing 5 to 7 review paper. 5 to even 10 review paper. Yeah. So I have to sit down all this time to find what is the suitable related to my field where I can publish some review paper. So once I see, okay, this is the title, then I have gone through detail these things. I'll show you how we can process of review writing. So then I will sit down, roughly how many, initially I will go how many references or how many published paper I will collect, then sorting, initial sorting, the secondary sorting, tertiary sorting, finally I fix, okay, this is the 100 paper, I want to summarize all information and develop my report. So roughly how many sources need to include? If you are a researcher, like lecturer, like postdoc, like PhD student, you may not have this experience, then you have to get help from your seniors, from your supervisors. Okay, look, I'm planning because this is my field, I'm planning to get some information. How many sources I will collect? Then he or she can help me. Then, of course, the final finishing will have to give the seniors because it's about the experience. Review paper writing is about the experience. Initial work, first draft, second draft can be given by the respective researcher, but you have to finish it. We'll see how we can finish it. Okay, what type of sources? Books, journal, article, website, you have to fix it before writing. Then should you summarize, synthesize, or critique your sources? Then should you evaluate your sources? Should you provide subheading and other background information such definition of the history? Okay, what I'm doing once I fix the title, then I check at least 60 to 70 papers or 100 papers to create the contents of my paper. Rough content, not the final content. Content of the 1 is introduction, 2 is overview, 3 is methodology, 3.1 is some, 3.1.1 is some. So all the contents I develop from the 100 paper and my experience. Then I ask my researcher, okay, get the data corresponding. For example, 3.1 is a method and control system, control method system, or whatever it is, method. So one method, 3.1 is one method. Under this method, there are some other things, 3.1.1. So all the specific contents I develop for myself. So because I know what's supposed to do, I develop. Then I ask my researcher, collect information on the, for example, on some specific methods or specific that I must see. So then I develop the content and I'll finally, after 3, 4, 5 times review, drafting, we get the final draft. Let's see. The model. This is very important because we don't have, many of us, we don't have experience to write the review paper. That's why we have to find a model. Model means on your field or similar of your field, people has published some review paper. So you have to check this thing, how they have disseminated the review data. For example, you are doing some for superconductor or some of the supercapacitor, whatever the field. You are doing some field. So maybe on respective field there is no review, but related other field there is a review paper because people are time to time publishing review papers. So you have to find a model how they disseminate their data into their paper. So that experience will help you to organize your paper, how you can. As I said, look for other literature review in your area of interest or discipline, read them to get sense of the type things you might want to look in your own research, the way to organize your final review. So you have to find a model to make some similarities. They have developed something. Of course, your argument, your synthesis will be different, but you at least will learn that how they have developed the argument. So you can simply put the word review. Okay, this is so we know how today everybody we are expert to searching the information. Just in any engine, if you search one word, for example, pen or pencil, thousands of material will come, thousands of link will become about the pen, about the review, about your specific topic. Yeah. So last month I published one renewable sustainable energy review paper. This is energy storage sizing. I just focus on the sizing of the energy storage. They publish after 10 months or 11 months. So if you put energy storage sizing or battery sizing, so it will give lumps of paper, bundle of paper. The way you can search. So there is already in the morning session, professor already given. You search one thing, it will get some 1,000 paper. Then you have to sort it, and find the needed paper. How many paper you need? What related field of paper you need? You have to fix it. So that is I want to say here. And then narrow down. So you get first semiconductor. We have seen that is 17,000. Initially it was 17,000. Then 100 something. Then from that, one paper is written by professor of 60 reference. Only 60 related reference he took from the 17,000. That's why narrow down your topic. When you fix the title, you find a lot of many papers, 100,000 paper, right? You cannot go. Your supervisor cannot give idea with this 1,000 paper. It will kill her time. This time. That's why you have to narrow down the topic and consider whether your sources are correct. So now, one of the things is the sources. How old the source I can use. This is different field to field. It's different. For example, some of the literature like medical science is 2 years. After 2 years is obsolete. Nobody considering 3-4 years old data. But for our engineering, some of the applied research we can still consider 5 to 7 years. For some of the historical data we can consider 15 years. That's why you have to see what type of. I have some method second slide maybe. Let's explain what type of review you want to write. Is it thematical, methodological, or systematic? Yeah. So based on this thing and all your field, you have to sort this thing. Whether your source is correct. For engineering, I'm using 5-year data only for review. And find a focus. Focus on your reviews, what you have collected. So if you have focus on what people has done, what is the missing when you go through the individual papers. So you have to have knowledge. What is the gap? What he has done and what is could be done in the future. Then if you can highlight this thing when you're reading the paper, then that is your argument, or that would be your suggestion later. So that's why they ask you to find what is the missing and what solution the paper has been given. Okay. That is research gap. Every research is started from the research gap or the problem statement. So we have to find some gap of the current research. Then you can give some suggestion somewhere in your review paper. Okay, the people have been developed this. This is the advantage of this. But still to overcome this problem, it may consider. You cannot say that it have to be. It may. Yeah, you can give some suggestions. That's why focus what people have developed. Usually these days they want similar kind of information. We call it research survey methodology or review process. Especially Journal of Applied Science, one of the big Journal of Cleaner Production, also, and University of Sustainable Energy. They are asking how you process the review, how we have gone through the review. So we are doing this thing. This is our graph. Initially, the screening method, initial screening evaluation. So in the initial screening, we have collected 582 papers for some specific field. And then second screening, after being sorted, we have considered 227 papers from the specific identity field. And then the final screening, we have considered 103 papers. This 103 paper we have put in our reference list on 500. And what is the review result? How we process this thing? In this 103 papers, we have overview. This is the lithium-ion battery SOC estimation paper. So we have some finding here: critical review, comprehensive review on the data-driven SOC estimation algorithms. These are the algorithms. These are the data-driven SOC estimation, some techniques. These are the limitation. Very important. Limitation is small, but it's still very important. You have to show some existing limitation. That's why the review paper will be published, and future researcher will be conducted research on your problem, on this limitation. Because you highlight some limitation, people will start to work to solve this limitation. That is the advantage of review paper. Finally, some direction, future direction. So every review paper The main thing is small. Your argument development and how you synthesize, then the limitation, how you develop the issue and challenges, existing issue and challenges, how you raise the issues, and then recommendation. This three section is maybe 1/5 of the review paper or 1/4 of the review paper, but still your review paper will be accepted based on only this thing. How you raise the issues, what is the existing issues, and how you given, what are the recommendations given to solve this thing in future. That's why future direction. This is one of the these days some good review paper, Applied Energy, one of the good paper journal that imperfected 8+, and renewable sustainable energy review imperfected 12, linear production imperfected 7. They are looking similar kind of after introduction, similar kind of how you screen your review materials. This is very important. Then after this thing, then you have organization of the review paper. What's supposed to be the review paper organization? Say I develop it myself, the content and subcontents. Then I pass to the respective researcher to gather the information. So this is the way. Get focused, narrow down the field, most effective way to presenting information, most important topics, subtopics, all these things you have to there are different ways, two ways. You have to write before the writing, or you have to keep in mind what you're going to write. Then one by one you can write all this structure of the paper or contents of the paper. First of all is introduction. Okay. Every paper we have abstract, right? Abstract is a summarized form of this item. There are two types of okay, so I was saying, okay, now in abstract I'll explain later. Then introduction, then the body. The body also classified with some section. The body is I just put, but it could be few sections, like in methodological, like in sub-methodological. And the problem, this could be one of the section. Problem and the challenges, issues and challenges. And finally, conclusion and recommendation. And for engineering aspect or applied aspect, we are usually writing conclusion and recommendation, conclusion and suggestion, and conclusion. But in social science of aspect, they are writing some discussion. They are writing discussion before conclusion. They have a lump of discussion, 2-3 pages of discussion of summarized from what they have explained in the earlier pages. So this is the body. Introduction. Before introduction, of course, we have abstract. The body you can contain, like if introduction 1, it could be 2, and some part body could be 3, 3.1, 3.2. So many subsection could be. Finally, one of the section could be this section. Many authors they write separate section, issues and challenges. Many authors they include the issue and challenges when they explain. When they explain in the body, they explain the issue and challenges also at that. So there are some how you want to write. Either you want to write a separate content, then you can write issue and challenges, or you can write the issue and challenges in the introduction part and end of the any description. So, this is one of the slides we are writing. What type of review paper you want to write? So there are a few forms: the chronological forms, the thematic forms, and methodological forms. So, for example, in many cases, I write the methodological things, methodological review paper, because for just now I said I have written one paper recently, a energy storage sizing. So for sizing, what are the methods have been used? I explain what is their lackings for the update research. So after doing a lot of literature survey, we know what is their lackings. So it's methodological. Some of the paper is chronological. Recently, I have last year December, I have written one paper in applied energy. I'll show you this paper at the end. That is chronological paper. That is chronological paper. I have that paper title was Power Electronic Contribution in Renewable Energy Execution. So in the renewable energy, how power electronics help to make the renewable energy or usable energy or fruitful energy. Yeah. So that is chronological. From I start from some few years ahead when the inverter started or what inverter technology started, then I come with the latest technology and find some their problems and the gap of the research. Then finally I have given some idea or some recommendations. So this is the chronological. Maybe thematic is some kind of, but a little bit deep of some theme. If you are thinking that you want to say something of some specific thing on your field, so that is thematic. Similar with the other paper, but it's theme-based paper. Paper is not yet developed. You are thinking so. You are thinking so. It could be this. So this is the thematic paper. So basically, a methodological paper and chronological paper I'm writing to. This is one of the slides, mostly text of how you begin your writing. Once you have settled on the general pattern organization, you're ready to write each section. Before the slide, you are thinking that you will write methodological review paper. So you have sorted how many sources you will include. You have developed the content and sub-content. For example, even if you don't develop content and sub-content, you are thinking that the way you want to write, then use evidence. In your interpretation of available sources must be backed up by the evidence to show that what you are saying is valid. So when you're writing anything, because review paper is more on synthesis, more on developing argument. You are writing that Mr. X has developed this thing, that is this, that is that, but at the end you have to give some idea. That is the synthesis. So this synthesis, or before the synthesis, you have to give references. You have to give references that you are not lying, or what you are saying is not incorrect. That is validated. That's why review paper they have a lot of references, 100 references, 200 references. Okay. So any argument you develop, before the argument you develop, you have to have some reference. That is, they say use evidence on your every advocating or every interpretations or every analysis. Be selective. Only the most important point of the source you have to highlight, because in one paper you cannot go. You have to maybe take 1 line to 2 lines, 2 lines of the paper. So then you have to give cite. That's why they said be selective and use quotes sparingly. Do not use any direct quotes. That is the thing. You cannot copy direct sentence even from the publication, from the previous papers. That is because the survey nature of the literature review doesn't allow in-depth discussion or related quotes from the text. Otherwise, it will be used, plagiarized, or the theme will be not exactly, because you have to develop your own sentence and argument. The summarize and synthesize is one of the form. You have to synthesize your sources in every paragraph. Keep your voice. This is one of the important. Keep your voice. Keep your own voice. You are writing one paragraph. Blah blah blah. Advantage, disadvantage. The last sentence is supposed to be your voice. What's supposed to do? Your own sentence based on your experience and based on previous information. You have to give some sentence. It may do, it may not be. Maybe this you can advocating some theory, some methods. That's why they said while the literature review presents others' idea, your voice should remain front and center. That is the small part, but it's the gist, summarized part. And editorial committee are looking this part. They are looking at this part, whether you have your own voice. And there is use caution when prefacing. Okay, of course we have to check the similarity and the plagiarism. I'll speak a little bit later. And doing all these things, we don't have any format. You have to get experience and discuss with your superiors and seniors to get the how you want to disseminate one by one. That's why they say, unfortunately, cohesive interaction of writing review articles do not exist. There is not any format. There is not any template. They have published many papers, but there is no any rules and regulations for writing review paper. It's most on experience and some idea people have been published similar idea. Therefore, it seems prudent to structure the review article around the argument you are making, incorporating the element of Tolmin arguments. Tolmin, the scientist Stephen Tolmin, is one of the scientists. The way we are writing, he has shown some structure, how we can write a draft or report or something. So if you search the Tolmin argument, you can see some of the structure, how we can write a report, how we can write some things. So we can get some idea. Basically, there is no structure of review writing. You have to follow some standard of published paper. And then you get experience. Then from the standard, you can maybe create a new something. Yeah? Just now I show you the synopsis. These days, they are asking for how you survey for 1,500 paper, how you scrutinize into 103 paper. Recently, I show you slide 582 paper, I scrutinize into 103 papers. How? So in the explanation, we have to explain. So this is the how we scrutinize the paper. Okay. So this is, and now this is the content. Some of the part of the content will explain. We have enough time.
We have until 11:45.
Yeah. Then no.
Actually, we have a lot of
time. Yeah. No, thank you very much. So title. So the title is a very important part of a paper, of an academic and review paper. Why? The title is a very, very important paper. These days, writing paper, not for only writing or publishing. This is the plantation. This is the plantation you have to plant, and in future you have to get fruits. Whether the fruits is sweet enough, if it is not sweet, nobody will eat your fruits, right? That's why plantation is very important. Which plant you want to plant? Yeah. The title is the first thing. Usually how we find, how we search any document. We just put keyword and title, right? In the search engine, Google, any search engine, we just put the title or the keywords. Then lumps of the information comes in. That's why title is very important. I have seen due to the title, some of the paper has got 1,000 and 100 citation, and even some better paper due to title, it's nobody citing. That's why you have to give some time on fixing the title. They say title convey the main finding of the review. What is the main finding of the review? What constraint you highlight? He highlights what issue is raised, and be specific, be concise, be complete, and readers. That is the best method. If readers don't like, no point to write papers and review papers. Today we have purpose. One of the purpose or one of the measurement of publication is the citation. So if you don't get enough citation, what is the point to increase the number? If you increase your number of publication, is rather bad. Per citation per paper will be less. So it is one of the evaluation. That's why do all these points, be specific, concise, complete, and try to attract the reader. Don't do this thing, unnecessary jargon, uncommon abbreviations, and all these things. And of course, we should remember that the readers are the potential author who will cite your paper. Of course, we have to think about the readers, because our target to get fruits. Once they will cite, then they give one fruits. Yeah. So we have to take care of theirs. We have to we have to read their minds. Keep it informative and concise. Reviewer will check whether the title is specific, reflect the content. Editor had titles that make no sense or fail to represent. Many of our paper instantly first, second days rejected, text rejection. Because reviewers or the editorial committee at least go the title and at best they go for the abstract and then they find that this is not suitable, not enough context. So that's why title is very important these days to get the high citation. To get the good title, discuss with your co-researcher, supervisor, seniors, and of course you can check with another new technology. You can check on your field which paper got high citation. Then you will get idea. Okay, they have written this way the title, it got high citation. So same work or similar kind of work in other field you are working, so you can write that title similar way. That is ideally at this my level. So I also following this thing. Recently I published 2 Nature paper, Nature group of paper. So I follow some people's title, some other field, and you can publish. Of course, the materials is good there, very very good materials is there. That's why we have to follow. We have to follow some template of some model. So this is about the title. Then let's see the abstract. The 2 things is most important. All the editorial committee, editor-in-chief is here. Editor-in-chief is here. So most of the paper, they first look the title and they go at best the abstract. If your abstract is not concise, not informative, then they will not go further. Means they will not send the review paper or the paper to the review process, to the reviewer. So abstract is a material, it is stand alone. It plays stand alone. But once you read the abstract, you can read whole manuscript. You can perceive, you can understand whole manuscript. That's why in the abstract it has a background, it has a objective, it has a problem, it is objective, it is a methodology, it is a result, it is some recommendation, it has some application. All through is abstract. It's standalone materials. Once we read the abstract, we can read the whole manuscript. For example, you are writing review paper of 15 pages. So reading abstract, the editors or the reviewer will really understand what you're going to say inside it. That's why abstract is very important. They say good abstract is precise and honest, can stand alone, use no technical jargon, is brief and specific, minimize the use of abbreviation, of course no citation, and the word limitation is depends on the journals. Some journals is 150 to 200, 300, at best 300. I have seen in the Elsevier journal up to 300, no more than. But most of the good journals, their title is, their abstract is very precise, like 150, 100 words only. So that's why I highly recommend that you wait until you have written the rest of the review article to write the abstract. What I'm doing usually, after developing whole paper, all the content and sub-content, even the references, then last section is my abstract. I write the abstract at very last moment before submission. And before abstract, I write the conclusion. Of course, I'll show you what supposed to write in the conclusion. Okay, this is the abstract. We have to give some time once the manuscript being already ready. And keyword, similar kind of title. Keyword also very important because people are citing on the keywords. So that's why keyword of your manuscript is very, what we are doing, we just simply write the part of the title in the keywords. Most of us, we did mistakes. Part of the title we just fill in the keyword. But in the body, some other very important parameters also. We forgot. Many of just put the title word in the keywords. But rather than title word, of course, some of the title word is a precise word. Some of the title word, some of the words can be taken from the inside of your body. That is frequently you discussed. That could be the keywords. Keyword is very important. So journal to journal, they have specified how many keywords supposed to you write. 5, 6, 3. And the introduction. The review paper, in academic paper, we have a small introduction and methodology and result discussion we have. In the review paper, the introduction, if you write introduction as introduction, it could be small, but whole paper is about the review. In between, you have some argument. That's why I put it introduction. So it could be after introduction, it could be overview of the existing system. It could be method and system of the existing system. It could be control of the system, existing system. So everywhere, even you are writing the control or methods, of course you have to write people's control system that people has published, and you have to give some idea for further development. So we have, again, it should be one of the last portion of your review article that you want to write. The brief introduction of the article, include the highlights of the article, establish your audience and address of relevancy, and establish your persuasive purpose. This is important because every paper we have to pursue the reviewers and the editorial committee to get them accept. Then you want to anticipate the audience, okay, argument in response, what you want to focus proposing, then you put the argument your own. You cannot wait until the discussion section of this piece. So this is about the introduction. In introduction, so many subsection could be, so many sub-content could be. Every content you are writing people's idea and argumenting. You are developing your synthesizing. You are synthesizing people's idea and giving some suggestion or advocating some of the theory. This is about the introduction. Okay, this is just slides. Maybe I took from some of the things. Okay. For when you write the introduction or content and subcontents of the body of the review paper, it is very necessary that this is not just a text. It's very necessary to show some graphical representation. What is the graphical representation? Like figure, like tables, like flowcharts. So, because the graphical representation is far better than any text. Yeah, if you put here some graphic on paragraph on figure, people will easily understand the figure. That's why in the morning session you can see that they have developed some tables. They have developed some graph from the literature. That's why in introduction or in the body, every section and subportion, my suggestion, I follow actually, always to give some tables. In the tables, maybe one column, two column is very easier. One column is the reference, and one column is the methods. And other 4 or 5 columns, maybe some different features. Then you have to search individual parameters. For example, efficiency. For example, this parameter, other parameter of 10 of the papers or 20 of the papers. Then you can develop a table. What I do when I ask my student collect the information, so they have given me similar one sub-contains similar 30 papers. Then I ask to develop some features. What is the important features of this content? So they develop 4 or 5 columns. One is the efficiency, one is the methods, one is the reference, one is the other parameter. So the way they develop the tables, then they collect the values there. Then at a glance, in the table, we can see what is what. Then we can give some idea to solve this thing. What we can do and what people have done. So that's why making graphics or tables or flowchart is very important in your review paper. That is not your own. That is you have to develop from the data that have been published. Yeah. And there's a big point here about the review article structure, the claim, the reason, and evidence. These 3 things are very important. When you are saying that this is the X et al. Has developed this method, it is good. However, it has some blah 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 on what it could be do to solve this problem. The last sentence is your own sentence. All this, when you are claiming all these things, it has to be relevancy. It has to be valid. The reason, you will need to include some background of your claim in this section in order for your reason to make sense. Why you are giving, okay, this is good, this is okay, this can be done, or this maybe do. Why you are giving? You have to explain one more line for validating your reason why you are advocating. Evidence, we know every resources we have to give evidence. Reference. You will summarize the article that support your claim and your reasons here. You will want to remember warrant at this time. Your argument will rise, fall unless you can link your evidence. If you don't have proper evidence, so nobody can, or the reviewer cannot judge it, cannot evaluate it. Okay. Trying to get a big picture, the answer of the important question, why this is important. So that is you have to address. Why this is important, why you are saying this. So the claim, reason, and evidence is one of the very important parts of the review article, review papers. And finally, in the body I just shows a few slides, but body could be many slides. I'll show you how the body I develop in my papers. I'll show later. The conclusion, most of our papers, applied paper, engineering papers, we are writing conclusion and discussion, conclusion and suggestion, conclusion and recommendation. In case of review paper, an academic paper, just conclusion and discussion. But review paper, conclusion and suggestion, conclusion and recommendation, and many other forms. So in the conclusion is also summarized form. This is many of us get a little bit confused about the abstract and conclusion. Okay, so now if you don't have urgency, we can continue. Okay, so we can go another 10-15 minutes. So the conclusion is a little bit different than, it's a summarized form, but in the conclusion is actually achievement. How you achieve or how you throw the idea of the review paper. Is academic paper is easy, how you achieve your methodology, your results, and other things. But the review paper, how you analyze the resources that you have included. That is the conclusion. Of course, in the conclusion, you have to give some recommendation in point basis or bullet basis. Or of course, you can also highlight some issues also here. So this is the conclusion. So I'll show you then how we can write the reference. The reference is supposed to be updated. Whatever you fix in the earlier 180 or 60 or 200 references, it should be concurrent. And I really focus on the journal paper, good journal papers, because most of the review paper publish good papers, good journals. So they likes to cite the mostly good journals. Okay, that is you have to sort it when you plan to do. Okay, once your paper is ready, then revision. I'll not go much time here. Revision is no way is very important. You have to revise. Sometimes when you are writing our works, you don't understand our mistake. So that's why the second time you really understand your mistake. Or if you don't even find, you send your co-authors, junior, senior, whatever it is, because you're writer. Sometimes we don't understand our mistake. So if even my students sometimes. That's what this is, whether this sentence is okay or not, whether this okay or bad. Okay. So revision is the revision and revision. You must have to check revision, revise, and revise. Okay. And we go to details and the revision. All the revision, you have to really care on the revision to maintain your clarity, concise, correctness. And of course, you have to avoid this repetition, redundancy, ambiguity, because review paper is a summation of the people's idea. Yeah. So if when you are writing a big review paper, so it may duplicate the information. That's why they say repetition is, the editors and the committee don't like the repetition. The reviewer don't like the repetition. They are annoyed. Redundancy, ambiguity, exaggeration. The claim. Don't exaggerate much. Okay, this is the best idea what I am giving. No. So the claim is not be exactly. Okay, you can say this may be the good idea, or the out of this 10 theory, this theory may be very effective. Why? Blah, 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 blah. So you have to give some reason. Okay? So revision is very important on your draft. This is some final notes on similar revision. Remember, you are not trying to list the materials, but to synthesize and evaluate it according to the concept of your themes and of your idea or the research questions. So I'll go some other things. This is the scoring. You really understand what is the level if you show somebody. There are some slide. I delete the slide, but scoring, once your draft is ready, you can check. You can self-satisfaction. You can find whether your draft is okay. Then for the review paper, every paper we have a cover letter. Every paper, either review or academic paper, we have a cover letter. Though it is not a star mark or compulsory, but still we have to write a cover letter to convince the editor, okay, my work this is the good one. But in review publication, many journals, they are asking for review paper on invitation, or we have to take permission. Like Renewable System Energy is a review journal, so you can directly submit there. But like Applied Energy, you cannot directly submit review paper. You have to get permission, or they have to invite you. So, like energy, like renewable energy, they have to take their permission to submit the review paper. So how they will give the permission? So when you write the very good extended abstract, one letter come extended abstract with the content of the body and how many references included, all this information. In case of energy and applied energy, they ask for your CV also, because they know whether you are experienced or not. They want to see. That's why if you are experienced, then their query, okay, he's experienced on review or he has a lot of research, he can write the review. Then they will, if they satisfied, pass to the review section, or they invite you officially to submit any paper. So this is one of the forms the way I usually write the well. For example, I have published last year, end of last year, this paper. It's a very good paper for electronic contribution, renewable energy conversion, addressing carbon emission reduction, potential application issues. And so these are the authors. We have a collaborator, mostly Unit 10 overseas collaborators, and Unit 10 Dr. Roshan Begum. Dr. Roshan, she is actually giving us the carbon emission idea and all these things. So this is the abstract, extended abstract. This is the content of the paper. So as I said, introduction. After the introduction, this is all the introductory part. So I have first classified power electronic technologies. What are the technologies available at the moment? Then I have sectionalized power electronic controller for energy conversion. What are the controller? Conventional controller, intelligent controller, other form of controller, optimized controller, so different type of controllers. And the drawbacks, application, advantage, all this thing. Energy conversion issues and challenges. With this controller, what are the issues at the moment? The issues. Then conclusion and recommendation. So in the conclusion and recommendation, I have recommended some specific recommendation. So this is for further development. Of course, some of the conclusion or some of the recommendations is very important. So once the editor look this thing, they have a specified editor for looking whether this could be a good reviewer. They invite us to submit the review paper. We submitted and it's accepted. So that is after all of these things, you have last 3 months, 6 months, you are writing the review paper. The teacher, the supervisor, the student, postdoc, everybody, a collaborator writing the papers. Then you submit somewhere, even they have given initially invitation and it is rejected. How do you feel? Right? It's crying. This is not good, no correct. So after all of the attempts, labor, time, all these things after 6 months of labor is vain. But don't take it personally. This is very standard because in the first slide I say 40 to 90% is rejected. Submission is rejected. So maybe for this time they don't find something very blooming thing here. So you really have to think what was the problem here. You really have to go through details of the comments. What is the problem? Then you have to try to evaluate your things, try to understand, try to revise accordingly. Then you submit again sometime or the same journals, asking that okay, we modified this. Then the paper is accepted. Yeah. So after all of your attention, the checking, the English, the presentation, the taking time, knowledge, acknowledge original idea, critical analysis, your paper is accepted. Now you are happy. We are happy, right? We are happy. Once paper is accepted, then we are motivated. The second paper, third paper, fourth paper. So you are now experienced with your surrounding, your PhD, somewhere your lecturer, etc., also professor, and you develop your wings. So this is the all lever for review paper writing. And I just highlight the plagiarism, one of the very issue these days, because as long as many people are writing papers, so plagiarism of the big issue, especially review paper, we are summarizing others' information. So it may have similarity. But the review papers, the different journals or different publications, publisher, they have different views. How many portion of the similarity? Some are saying less than 20%, some are saying 10 to 15% similarity. So I might consider 10 to 15%, or 15% even is okay for some journals. 10 to 15% similarity, because it's people's idea could be some similarity. Plagiarism is one of the great offense. There are many incidents in the world. Many people suicide after being caught due to plagiarism. Many people's jobs are terminated. Available example in Malaysia also. Many of our friends terminated due to plagiarism. Many of our friends suspended from some publishing. IEEE, some of the LC suspended for a few years for due to plagiarism. Similarity paper published. You know, like a few years back in Japan, one of the lady in stem cell Japan, she published a paper in Nature, and after being published, she was the director of the Stem Cell Institute. Her researcher, some professor, they submit paper and she just overlook it and submit somewhere in Nature, originally Nature. Then publish paper. After publish, somebody claim, okay, hey, this is our work. Then Nature go to real survey and find that is not work from Japan stem cell. Then they complain, how do you get this information? Then the director of the senior scientist asks the juniors, where do you get this thing? These are can't answer. Then the next day, their director, I forgot her name, she suicide. In Japanese, they have a lot of suiciding. Any misconduct, they have a suiciding tendency. So there are some lot of effect of plagiarism, termination. Many in Himalaya, USA, I know many people that terminated due to the similarity. That's okay. So the fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, these are the part of the. Nowadays we are lucky. There are a lot of software we can check the similarity. Mostly we are using Trinity, e-authentic. So use Trinity to check content. Every paper I'm submitting, I must check Trinity. And this is the publication impact analysis. All these things, why we are doing publication? In the first question I said, why we need to publish? In the first slide I asked you question, right? Why we need to publish? So these days there are some mapping, there are some index to evaluate you. If you search Google Scholar, Google Scopus, they will give you what you are, what is your researches. That's why Arts Index is there. Then citation is there, ultimate thesis is there. Many people are highlighting, okay, this is the professor, blah, blah. He has got the new fund, he has got the novel of these devices, he developed a new technology, many newspaper giving information. Yeah. So this is the ultimate impact factor of the journals. All these are the index or the assessment of your publication. You need this thing. They will judge you based on your H index, based on your citation. And ultimately give you recognition. Yeah. And this is one of the slides. So Malaysian potential field of research, where we can get on the Elsevier also, where you can get highly cited field of paper, highly cited paper. At the moment, it's energy. At the moment, you can see here the energy research, psychological research, chemical research. This is the highly cited field of research. And also the growth of the research, environmental science. This is the Malaysian structure. This is, I explained, the review paper, importance of review paper. Okay, this is one of the slides. Most of my review paper, I used to add some collaborative researcher around the world. So you can see here, if you have a good collaboration, the good universities, automatically citation is increased. Automatically citation increased. So you can see here, these are the good universities or old universities, and their citation is always high. So these days, it's one of the factor of the universities. University ranking, one of the factor, including citation, how much you have a collaboration around the world. This is one of the factors. That's why it is better to put collaboration if you get help from your help to write or give some suggestion of your paper. So this is the last part of my presentation. How do we collect the review and summarize? Usually, I ask my students, those are the researcher, direct researcher, PhD student, and postdoc. When they find your paper, they are asking this few steps. They are going through a few steps like what is the title in abstract, what is the focus, what system they use, where is the application, what is the problem. Usually the paper, they are not, most of the paper, they are not writing their own problem, what the problem is. Maybe after that, some other people are writing their problems. So the problems, method, result, and advantage. In one paper, they are given one page of 10, 15 sentences of this information. Usually they are giving me. So when you collect 60 paper, they have given 60 pages of information. From this information, I have helped them to summarize, synthesize, develop argument, develop table, figures, classified information, trend, chronological trend or thematical trend, challenges, suggestion, recommendation. From the 60 page.
So this means each one paper,
Yeah.
all these they collect.
Usually, after the reading the researcher reading the paper, they have knowledge on the paper. Then I ask to collect this paper information based on this thing in one page of 10 line. 10 line. What is the methods? What is the advantage, disadvantage? What is the application, where it applied, and what is the results? All this, asking all these features 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or some more or less, they give you one short synopsis, one page of some write-up. So after 60, if the reference is 60, they have given me 60 of write-up. From the 60 write-up, that is very low level, very first draft level. From the 60 write-up, then I scrutinize which portion will go where. I summarize and synthesize, develop the argument, ask them to, okay, this 10 paper is this subsection. This subsection you develop with tables. What are the features? Then explain what the table is saying. Then, based on the limitation, you suggest what's supposed to, or you raise some issues. So this is one of the main things. This is usually the researcher, direct researcher or anti-researcher is very difficult to do this thing unless he or she has the experience. Only the seniors can do this, those who has a little bit experience. So that's why I suggest all my PhD students to collect the information. I develop the content and sub-content, summarize for them, and then I ask to add some more features. And finally, 3, 4, 5 times of review, we finally come out with a very good draft. This is one of the draft I published in one of the review journals. This is we published in 2017, and this is one of the top 1% journals, highly cited journals. At the moment, I'm not sure whether UNITEM can access, UKM can access, like Web of Knowledge, the Clarivate Analytics, they have an option. They have a top citer, one of the selection top highly cited authors or researcher, one of the selection is top 1% journals. I'm not sure whether UNITEM can see the top 1% journals. Usually I ask my friend from Australia, look how many papers I have included in top 1%. Top 1% citation. This is one of the top 1%. That is not, no, there are two options actually. One is the highly cited paper, one is the hot paper. Hot paper is rather very critical, top 0.01%, 0.1%. The paper cited highly at the high end top 0.1%, we call it hot paper. And this is highly cited paper. So this is this paper got citation 450 plus in 2 years. In 2 years, the paper got 2.5 years actually. 2.5 years, we got 400 plus citation. So this is top 1% citation. But look how the abstract is synthesized form, the review summarized form, the introduction, then the solid state.
This paper has, excuse me, you have this paper copy?
Okay, I have, okay, I have this paper. So look at this thing. Look at this. This is very important. How the content and subcontent is developed. For example, 5. The conventional methods, all conventional methods. Drawbacks, adaptive methods. So finally, others. Then all this thing and issue and challenges. What is the existing issue of lithium-ion battery? Then I have given recommendation. This is the paper. This is the paper. Is highly cited paper, top 1% cited paper. Out of my many highly cited paper, this is the first paper. In 2-3 years, 2.5 years, we got 400 plus citation. So abstract, introduction. In every section, if you look this thing, every section somewhere I have highlighted our own voice. This should not be, this should be, or it may be. We have raised some of the people have developed something. We explain their things and we raise some of our issues. Okay. The table we have developed a similar way, all the way we develop the different features and the tables. Some of the data, no data here, still no problem. This is some of the figures I have for explaining this. Some of the figures I have taken. I have taken permission from them. This respective author of 31 reference author. I have taken permission. Look, I want to explain some of the thing. I need your project explanation or paper explanation. I have to use. So I need to get some permission to explain this. So this way, this is our development. This is our development. The way people explain, summarize in the graphical form. Okay. So this is all ours. So this is a bit difficult, but nothing is impossible. Bit difficult compared to, as I said, academic paper, because it's people's idea. First thing is you have to summarize this thing, and the second, the hardest thing, how you analyze this thing. Just now this morning, Professor explained, this is the main thing, how you synthesize the people's idea. That is the main thing. So I have shown somewhere in my slide, focus, get a model first. Get a model first, then slowly you have to develop all this thing. So we have raised some comparative analysis here for the methodologies. This is the way. So we have how many? Maybe so many, 173 references for this thing. And then This is another highly cited paper, also mine. So check this thing, how we develop the body. The body, we didn't go much about the body. The body up to here. All these are the body. Some are the methods, some are the components, some are the controls, some are the structure, and we develop this thing. This is one of the highly. This is old paper, my first review paper. My first review paper. My first review paper. Still, it is highly cited paper. Top 1% cited paper. Usually, highly cited researcher is they have given highly cited researcher based on the highly cited paper. If you have a 20 or these days, initial last 2-3 years back, if you have a 10 highly cited paper, they will, based on the field, they have a 21 field of clarified analytics of knowledge. 21 field, they are giving highly cited paper. So based on this highly cited paper, they are nominating highly cited researcher. So if you have last time, if you have a 10, 12 highly cited paper, you could nominate a highly cited researcher. But these days, because competition is very high, many people are publishing around the world, focusing on publication. So I heard 15 or 16 or 20 paper. If you have highly cited paper, then it will be listed. If the field is, some fields are very saturated, some fields are still empty. So field-wise, if you have a 15 plus highly cited paper, then you are recognized as a highly cited research. They will select you or nominate you as highly cited research. It is one of the very prestigious recognition. This is one of the paper. This is all my UKM work. This is all my UKM work. So Professor Azza was there and my PhD student, and so we published similarly. This is most technical, but still you can manage. After this paper, I'm actually motivated to publish another paper. But alhamdulillah, in EV10, I had some fun. I can manage to get researcher, then still okay. This is one of the paper in solid waste, because in EVCAM I have a very good research on solid waste monitoring management, so I have published one of the paper. And these are also highly cited paper, just few of highly cited paper. All the paper, review papers. All these review papers, the same. The previous few papers, I showed 2-3 papers, and these are also highly cited paper, just selective. For example, I have, this is from IEEE Access. This is the 2020, I published this year, but it's still highly cited. Highly cited means this is the 2000 paper. This topic is very rare topic. I have, this is already 37, I think, in Global Scholar and 20 around in Scopus or ISI. So in 6 months, getting 20 citation is considered as highly citation. This is the uncertainty model for stochastic optimization in application. Some of the, this is my student, these are my co-researcher. Then this is also my student now lecturing. You came out, you was lecturer. Then I'm the leader. So it's important when you look any model, look the construction, the content and subcontent, how they develop. Then you collect the information and try to keep the information as a draft. Then your supervisor or senior can help you. Actually, this kind of workshop, I'm giving this talk few years, but rather in Unit 10, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing in depth of on session 1 or 2, 1 day full session to review some of they announced a little bit earlier, 6 months earlier. They collect some review paper and we sit down and in-house give some suggestion on the paper. In-house suggestion on the paper. That is very effective. Very effective. And this kind of talk is about the motivation, mostly on motivation. But still helpful if you want to. What other paper? This is one of the 2018 paper I got. This is the 2017 paper. Okay, so that is all this information about the publications.
Usually, it's
Okay, this is the last slide. Okay, thank you. I want really some questions from you. I really want some question and some motivation. And not only today, my emails is with Professor Madina. If you find that you want to write a review paper, you want to discuss, you can discuss anytime. I always ask many of my colleagues, students, I'm not part of that paper, but still I'm discussing with them, if possible that anything discussed, it will give some idea. So any question related to today's lecture about review paper writing? Okay, at least one question. We have still time for lunch. Or 2 in 1 question. So it's still 10 questions you can ask. Okay, so okay, please.
Nobody's asking, so I don't know. I can ask that no more.
Yes, please. Yeah, what do you think? Publication duration or your writing duration? Okay, so as I say, is depend on the field. Depend on the field. If you are working on the renewable energy, I consider 5 to 7 years is the suitable reference to be included in the reference list. Of course, from the reference we have to sort it, which is very much related to the field. Or for example, today there are some lot of AI. People are doing a lot of AI research, artificial intelligence. So the artificial intelligence, so many people are working. So if you write a review on artificial intelligence, like you have to give some 2 or 3 years of references. 2 3 years of references. Because people are writing recently, I am writing very ambitious paper on review paper also. So how AI impact on renewable energy integration? What is the function of AI to integrating renewable energy? Renewable energy integration towards decarbonization and SDG fulfillment, sustainable development fulfillment. This is I'm planning to submit natural energy. Paper is 54. So it's a very ambitious thing. So around the world, I'm collaborating for this. Okay, look, I'm thinking the way. This is my perception. So if you agree or if you give some input, you can try. You can try. So this is something. What type of paper you want to write based on this thing? Your duration of citation you can consider. Okay, I have another one question to you. Very okay, because you are not asking me question. Yeah. So at least we understand from the first lecture and the second lecture. The first lecture was so impressive. So from both lectures, at least we understand the needs of publication and review publication. Right? So I don't know, maybe you are the lecturer, you are the postdoc, you are the professor, but every stage, still we need to publish review paper. I explained in earlier slide, those days, the review paper was publishing only the senior people. These days, due to the huge data available, as a dissemination, a lot of engines are giving you, university subscribe for you to all Elsevier, all these things. So available data. So why don't you are doing research PhD for a specific topic to achieve some specific objective? So you have to gather before developing methodology or the simulation or the experimental work. You have to go through many review. Why don't you launch this review and give the draft, very early draft, finding similar model of the existing literature to your supervisor? Look, prof, this is the raw data. Whether we can summarize this thing. Someone asked question whether the second chapter of the thesis could be a literature review. This is considered as initial draft, very initial draft. And then that portion, if you develop some analysis or synthesis or develop some argument, then finally you can make it a review paper. So as you are a researcher, you are doing so. Actually, we are doing so. Every researcher, we are going through literature review. So why don't? This is my policy lab. This is my policy I am following with my students. Okay, you have to, first 6 months, you are on the literature review. As far as schedule of your 3.5 years or 3 years program. First 6 months, you have to have literature review. So give me some inputs from there. Then we reshuffling, redrafting, and all these things. Finally, we can make a draft and get a good citation. Alhamdulillah, at the moment, I'm the top citer in the U10. It's a small university, not like you can. Small university, but still, people notice, okay, Prof. Sarnan, high citation. Yeah. So, as you are academic, those who are doing research, high research, PhD, or postdoc, mostly we are working in university or research institution or research oriented. That's why, please, at least you understand the importance of research. Write your review paper, write your academic paper. Second question, please. Otherwise, I will ask another question.
If nobody asks, I will ask my husband. No, at the beginning, your first paper, how long you take time to write a paper?
Yeah, first paper. Yeah, thank you.
For the first time.
Yeah, first time it is, I initiated 2014 and I submitted 2015. So that time one of my PhD student, now lecturer, state professor in U10. So he has given me the draft at least 4 or 5 months to get the information. I take another 4 or 5 months to reshuffle it. And Professor Azza helped me to some sort of reorganizing, reshuffling. So all together 8 or 9 months. First time. But now I take only 3 months, 3 to 4 months. Because I involved 2 or 3 researchers. I split my work, okay, do this, you do this, you do that. Then once they give me the things, then based on the experience, it is easy for me now to copy or develop the section and subsections. So I'm expecting everybody, the researcher, we will try to write a review paper and give papers. So yeah, please.
There is a question from our Zoom attendants. The person asks, how do you strategize your time in writing and publishing many papers?
I'm in Germany.
Thank you. Thank you, researcher. Okay, it's very difficult. That's why I have a lot of complaint from my house. A lot of complaint. I always ask my very close person, why the day is 24 hours, day night? It's supposed to be 48 hours. If the day is day and night 48 hours, then I'll get enough time to do my work. Okay, so we are academic. Still, I'm taking at least 2 courses in each semester. 2 courses, and at least I have the moment I have 10 to 12 PhD student, master student, 3, 4 postdoc. Still, this is the efforts of collective efforts. I'm not directly writing. Some part, of course, I'm directly writing. Maybe in the one manuscript, like 10 page or 20 page of manuscript, I'm writing 2 pages only, here and there. That is my work. I'm not writing of course, I'm checking these 20 pages line by line, but I'm adding maybe 1 page there, some sentence. That is my work at the moment. So I'm checking after this, we can finally manage to, and it is good to work in the team. So not like if you work alone, 100% work you have to do your own. But if it is a team, then you can segregate or you can give the responsibility, part of the responsibility to others. Actually, we are doing this way. That's why we can manage to publish. This year, I have already published 16 Q1, altogether almost 20. Some are Q2. So hopefully another 5, 6 will come in the coming months. So this is manageable. But for this, you have to give time. So my office is usually 8 to 8 almost, because I reach at home at 7:30 or 8. Yeah, there is a lot of complaints from my house, but still she is my collaborator actually, because
After come back home also, after taking dinner,
okay, this is lot of responsibilities. I feel this responsibilities for my students, for my department, for my universities. That's why, and of course, I have to sacrifice partly of my family. She is my collaborator because I don't have enough knowledge on socioeconomics. Like many of the paper, I'm now focusing the decarbonization, climate change issues, and she's one of the climate change researcher. So she sometimes give me very good insights. So all the time we are discussing. This is one of the advantage for me actually in the family. So rather than other discussion, we are discussing about our research, about the ECAM scenario, about the unit scenario. That is our daily discussion. So it helps me actually. Thank you. The way we are getting time to publish this amount of paper.
There's another question from the same person.
Please.
Person asked how to write a good discussion. It is very challenging for new researchers like me. Okay.
That's why the new researcher is in case of review paper, it's very difficult to write a conclusion of the discussion. So the conclusion we know from the academic paper, it is just an achievement, how you achieve your objective. Means you develop these methods, whether this method is very good or outperform or efficient. Then if it is efficient compared to other validation, others works or simulation or some comparative analysis, comparative comparison, then you can say this is good methods. Similar, that is in academic paper, but in the review paper, we don't have our own data. Then you have to say what you have done. You have developed some argument on developing or raising some issues. These are the highlights or issues we have developed, and accordingly possible recommendation is provided. What are the possible recommendation? Like dot 1 is this, dot 2 is this, dot 2 or bullet 2 is this. The way you can finish your conclusion in the review paper. First, you are writing what you have discussed in the whole body. The last part is some bullet form of idea or suggestion or direction, future direction. That is important. The way we can, the two part in the conclusion, first part, what you have explained, that is, yeah, discussion and conclusion. I understand conclusion. Yeah, discussion and conclusion. I understand it's conclusion, right? So because the discussion is, if you say about the introduction is a very bulk thing. It's a sectionalized, subsectionalized. So there's another sheet. Discussion is, if it is conclusion and discussion, then it's a summarized form of what you have highlight or raise in case of review, or how you achieve your all the explanation and the suggestions. The way we can finish the review, discussion, or conclusion. Any more questions from Joe? Okay, Dr. Roshan, you want to ask something? Okay.
I just wanted to, it's not maybe everybody's. How do you, can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Can you share us that how do you shared some of them, how do you conceptualize? How do you conceptualize the song, right? I think everybody can understand my voice.
Okay.
How do you, at the initial stage, right? So what I understand, you are like mastermind of this review paper. What you are going to write on the review. Like you are thinking, okay, I'm going to, what I understand with you that he does his own review also. And then he read and write down. You take long time to form the content or to form the topic, to select the topic on their articles. That's the one. So after that, how do you mobilize your thinking and also to mobilize your postdoc and also your students, also your collaborators? That is very important. How do you coordinate? How do you give the responsibility? What are the challenges? Because
Okay.
many people are also
So,
contributing.
thank you. I can answer two part of this question. One part, how I develop the concept first, then how I keep the responsibility of the fulfilling the concept. Yeah. The first part, concept, yeah. For example, last 2 weeks, I'm looking something on socio-economic transition on renewable energy integration. There is no paper in the world. No paper. There is some transition, economic transition. There are some energy transitions. There are some renewable energy transitions. But the socio-economic part, because I get the idea because I'm writing a proposal for Australian Sun Fund. So one objective, my counterpart from Australia, they have given one objective, the socio-economic transition, socio-economic energy transition for energy storage system. So from that objective, now I have to, if we get the project, then we have to fulfill the project, right? We have to do the research project. Then I'm taking precaution for that. I'm asking my student, I haven't asked it, I will ask my student that later, then now I am finding some document how we can develop a review on socio-economic energy transition for energy storage implementation or energy storage integration. I check with the Google Scholar, I check with the Scopus and some other data form. There are no paper on this field. So I'm sure if I can manage to write this paper, it will be easy. Editor are sitting down to accept this paper, this kind of paper. It's a year ago. Now I'm focusing. I don't find exactly socio-economic thing. So I'm looking some of the energy-related socio-economic impact papers. So I'm looking or changing the content or title or the keyword. I'm trying to collecting some paper, developing the theme. Last 1 week, I have come out with some source and I have developed partly the title and also partly subcontents. What's supposed to be I can consider? What is the social impact? What is the economic impact? What is the environmental impact on the energy storage integrating into the grid? And what is the perception for the peoples? So the socio-economic impact, how we can throw. So I'm considering now under the socio-economic, economic and environmental impact for the peoples if we connect renewable energy. The way I'm developing some content and some content. So once I develop these things, so content, then I'll sit down with my respective researcher, those who are working related line. Then I'll give some work. Okay, can you please consider these few papers on the socio-economic aspect of the energy storage? Can you please consider what are the people saying about the environmental aspect of renewable energy integration? So once they will give me feedback, the way I'm segregating my works to that. I have to understand my work first. Usually I understand my work first. I really understand my work first, then I give some part of the works to that. That's right. Sometimes it is single author, sometimes it's many authors or many researchers. I give this responsibility to the researcher. Then I try to develop it with their help. But for review paper, really it has to come, for me it has to come from the seniors, and juniors can help us to. Any questions, please? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me time.